Hello and welcome to the Diplomatic Missile, and today we're taking a look at the brand new release for StoneHearth Alpha 3. Now this is the largest update yet, with a complete GUI overhaul, a new class and its mechanics, and the long awaited ability to save your game. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it and I'll show you what it's all about. So I thought I'd start off with the new GUI overhaul that has been added to StoneHearth. Now instead of having one menu at the bottom that allows you to build buildings and structures in the stockpile, but you can't control your crafters or what your people do, you have to click on them and the trees and whatnot individually. This toolbar at the bottom allows you to do nearly everything that you need to do, which is a really great feature that the game is one of its strongest assets at the moment, I think. So we'll start and work our way left to right. We have the harvest tool that allows us to, instead of having to click on each tree or berry bush, we can now drag an area and our workers will now go and harvest these trees, all of them together, which is a really neat feature and saves a lot of time. Now the second one is to zone tools. The zone tools, we can now place a stockpile like usual. So I'm now going to place a stockpile, and there we go. Now when you place a stockpile now, you'll get this menu that allows you to designate what goes in that stockpile. So if we only want resources to go in now, a wood and stone and rabbit pelts and fox pelts, we can have it as only resources. Or if we want just a construction realm on the chairs and whatnot go, we can just do that. And obviously most of the items haven't been implemented yet, but they will be soon. Now the second zone tool is the farm. Now this requires the farmer to build, obviously, and I'm going to get into that later. But I'm going to zone a farm here. Let's zone a nice small farm like so. Now when you zone a farm, you can choose a crop. I'm going to choose the turnip. Out the two choices, turnip and corn. So I will choose the turnip and click OK. So now that is a designated farm zone as turnip. Now when we create a farmer, he will automatically go and start doing that. I'm just going to quickly do that so my people don't get hungry. Now we also have our builder design. So we have custom design building that hasn't been implemented yet that will allow you to design your own custom buildings. We also have our simple room and our walls just as normal that we can place. Now the three that haven't been implemented yet are the managed jobs that allows you to manage all of them and promote different people without having to click on each individual one. We have the managed crafters and the managed squads for your army and so forth. So yeah, that's basically the new GUI update, which is really good. It allows you to designate your stockpiles and keeps everything nice and tidy. So that's a really strong asset to the game at the moment. And yeah, really good. Well done, guys. So as we've now created a farm plot, I thought I'd do the farmer right now. Now to promote to a farmer, you don't get a farmer's hoe, which is the item needed, straight away. You need to go to the carpenter, and you need to construct a farmer's hoe from tools, weapons and armor. Now this costs 2 wood resource, so I'm going to craft the farmer's hoe right now, and our carpenter should go and get going with that. Now once the farmer's hoe has been completed, we can then, looks like she's about to complete it now, we can then promote one of our workers to the farmer, like so. So now we have a farmer's hoe. I'm now going to promote Sen Edessa to the farmer. So now she should be a farmer, or not. Are you going to go and become a farmer? There we go. It's because it was being moved from stockpile to stockpile. There we go. So now she is about to become a farmer. There we go. Now, as we created that farm plot earlier, she should immediately start going to sort that farm plot out. And there we go. So now we have good dirt. And she's going to continue to build up this farm for us. If we go into the plots, we can see this is our farm plot. And it appears to be getting dark. But if we wish for another farmer, which I'm going to do now, I shall create another farmer's hoe. And she can go and create another one. And we shall promote another person to farmer. Now I've designated this to plant turnips, so when this is complete, I believe it should plant turnips for us. And we'll be able to harvest. So that's our farmer's hoe done. Let's promote another worker. Let's promote... Now it looks like we're not going to be able to promote because she's going to move it, but I'm going to try and promote anyway. Nope, didn't look like it. Oh, yeah, it worked. Sweet. So now it's dark, and light the fire. As per usual. So now we have a second farmer. Now it appears that we've got a bug here, which is a shame. I'm not sure what the bug is for. Obviously, alpha is alpha. And if anyone's watching this video and they read this, I'll report it in the bug forums. I'm not sure what it means. I'm going to close that window now. And now you are planting the person is planting turnips. Now we have a companion cube, which is clear ground. So now all of these should now be turnips. If I click on here, it doesn't work. But now these should grow into turnips that we can now harvest, which is all good. Now there is a mass harvest button, I believe, on the UI when you have turnips to harvest or plants to harvest, which is all good. So you can designate your workers to harvest them immediately or harvest all that are in sight instead of having to click on each individual farm and all of that again. So that's a really nice feature as well. So now that's the third class that they've added to the game, and the game's really shaping up to become really good. We've got a harvestable, renewable source of food, as well as these berry bushes here. And we can harvest berries from, obviously they don't have any at the moment. So we've got a renewable source of food, we've got the trapper, which can get some animals. And yeah, really good update. Really good new class. Now last but not least, there is obviously the infamous saving and loading games function. Now this has now been implemented and you can now save and load your game. So if you press escape, you can now go to the save game menu and create a new save. And there we are, we have South Roanoke, which is this city at the moment, or settlement at the moment. And you can also load your game, which is really good. So now you don't have to quit your game and do it all over again. You can now potentially build all over the map, and it can just be a massive expansion. So finally, one of the most important implement into the game is there, and I think this is now can be called a full game instead of just like a tech demo, which is really good. It's got enough implements to completely, you could play this and play this and play this until you ran out of space, and yeah, it'd be pretty good. So this has now come out of the stages of just being a demonstration, and now has actually gone into full alpha, and I think that's a really big milestone. I think it's really good, really good. Now there's obviously some minor changes such as a tweaked Pathfinder system and numerous bug fixes, and I suppose that comes hand in hand with adding new things to the game as how they will conflict and work with other things. Obviously things need to be tweaked and obviously bugs will appear. Now I think this has been like the most serious update yet. It's added obviously the save game function, which allows it to basically turn into a proper game instead of more of a demo. It's turned into a proper game that can be played continuously until you basically run out of resources and space. Obviously you can't run out of food now because the farming system has been implemented, which is a renewable farming resource, which basically turns it into an endless game until you run out of resources, but that's going to take a very long time. Also, a couple of things I forgot, you can mine the boulders now. They can now be mined with the harvester tool, and you can also, your villagers can now starve to death, which I haven't let happen yet, but I found that on the patch notes. Which obviously is a core mechanic, but unfortunately is very morbid. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this overview of StoneHearth Alpha 3, and goodbye.